Let's go! Who's up next?
Welcome, Internet. The Xbox Empire podcast, part of the Play Some Video Games Network of podcasts. I'm Elaine. He's Donnie. We're back on Wednesdays where we belong. Back to the normal.
Yes.
The E3 is done. The drama is done. Our little vacation break is done. Wednesday nights turn up. Right? Right?
Sure. You know what else
Yeah.
is done? Melon is done.
What happened, bro? We had this. Okay, so for everybody who doesn't know the sausage making behind the scenes, we had a piece of broadcasting software called Melon we were using.
Correct.
Let's say successfully in loose quotation marks for the last couple of months. Right?
Yeah. So we were using it so well that when I got so tired of it that I wanted to switch, funny story, I completely forgot like what we used to use. I was like, I was in the heat of trying to change Sweet Hangs with Sean, and I was like, I used to change the title somewhere. Where was that?
How did we do this?
I completely
forgot. I doesn't know how to produce a show anymore, so if this is a complete crap show, it's not me. I just show up and act like a diva.
I'm having lots of issues lately. E3 ran great until Shaq. And then from Shaq and Sweet Hangs, it ran like trash.
Okay.
And like the audio kept stopping. I kept dropping calls. The video kept dropping. Like everybody kept losing me. And I have excellent internet. I can only surmise at this point that I'm being throttled, maybe.
It's possible, or just their service has grown enough that they can't keep up. That's entirely possible.
We've
had problems off and on before. I don't know.
But if I've throttled, then like when I run speed checks and stuff, I should see that being throttled. I never do. I never do. Like even every time it happens, I that's the first thing I do is I run speed check and it's like 900 megabytes. I'm like,
shouldn't be getting throttled either. They remove bandwidth caps too. Like
and I pay extra for the cap to be removed. I pay for that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Play.
So
I need the internet.
We're back, and you're not seeing the overlay. We're back, like way back, like Series X badge. Like I'm kicking old school. I was going through my OBS. I was setting up all the scenes, and I was like, "That's nice." Like I actually really like the overlay. It's nice. Dev, welcome to the chat. Hey man, my upload is like 38. It's plenty.
More than sufficient.
More
for
than
a little
double
bit of
what I
video.
used to run this on. More than double. So
Not the same.
I just switched out my webcam. We'll see if that works, if we continue to have any issues. I'm thinking maybe that's it. Maybe it's a video thing. It's just too much. Because that Razer Kiyo is legit.
4K,
like 4K,
right?
Yeah, like super camera. So I pumped it back down to dummy camera, and we'll see if that works, if it helps. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. I'm getting real tired of it. Getting real tired of life.
You've had a week.
Yeah, I am. And these issues that like these production issues, these make me want to quit doing it. Like just quit. I'm like, I just shut it down.
There's a reason that I stopped wanting to produce my own shows, and I wanted someone else. It's the technical stuff stresses me out. Like more than I don't mind just getting on a podcast, talk a bunch of yang every week on the internet. Yeah. It's like the technical stuff is exhausting, especially if you do more than one show.
I may have to do this where I don't stream it, and I don't even know if that fixes the issue.
As long as audio is coming through, you don't have to worry about the video. But,
yeah, I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep trying, but the production stuff really, really bums me out because I feel like I have no control to fix it.
Feel you.
And that's the part that like I'm like, you know what? I just rather not do this at all. Yeah, Dev, we're aware that her screen is freezing up. It's been
no idea why.
It was doing that before Melon on this platform. We're recording the call on Discord, so I'm assuming that's got to be something on her end. We tried troubleshooting it, but we couldn't fix it. But as long as the audio is coming through, I don't care if she freezes every few seconds.
You guys can live with it, suckers. I love you all, but dude.
Then Dev, you can be our producer. Yeah, so life sucks, Elaine. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We've had a week, man.
Monday evening and Tuesday, I just wanted to scream. Like I did. You know what? Shameless like admission of honesty. When everybody left and everything, I dropped my phone. Like I had my hands full and I dropped it, and then I reached down to drop it. I dropped something else, and I could just feel it. You get that shaking, cringy hand. I was like,
Yup.
I need to hit something. I need to do something. And I just screamed.
Scream.
My air conditioner went out on Father's Day.
Now, your air conditioner doesn't just go out, I need a part. Your whole HVAC died and you needed to replace that system.
The part that it would take to fix it, the replacement was $3,200 for the part. Because the system that I have is like 20 years old. It's 2 decades old, and it's on the old format, and they don't carry parts for it and everything. Not only was it $3,200 to fix just the part that broke, there would have been 7 to 10, maybe 14 days before they could deliver said part.
You're in Georgia. You can't be
hot
freaking...
as Hades.
It's hot in the South. Yeah. It's hot in the South. I live in Jersey, and it's been 91. Without AC, I would have melted. I know better. I can't. Nobody. That's ridiculous.
Absolutely not. So,
it's insane.
It's one of those things that, and I appreciate a good upsell, but, it makes sense. It does make sense. We've known that we were going to have to do this. You pay $33,000 to fix it, or you pay $4,000 to replace the condenser, or you pay $5,200 to replace the condenser and the coil. Really doesn't make much sense to replace the condenser without replacing the coil.
I agree.
And if you're going to replace the coil and cut open the ducts and everything, man, you might as well replace that 30-year-old furnace it's all sitting on, wouldn't you? So,
you get the benefit of lowering your electric bill.
Yeah, but out of nowhere,
you'll
unprovoked and unwarranted and unplanned for, $7,000 just gone. So
you got off pretty good.
And look, there's a part of me that hates to even complain. And I'm only complaining because I was at my wit's end. Like I was really stressed out about it.
Deserve to complain about it. Yeah.
I was very lucky though, and grateful. Melissa's boss has a guest house that he rents, and there's nobody there. And he was like, "Just come stay at our guest house while it gets fixed." So I didn't have to stay here in this heat. That's a great thing, right? Like, so I'm very lucky.
I would have gone to a hotel.
Yeah, we were looking at Airbnbs, but we had to. So this week has been wake up at 6, get the kids ready, take the kids to church because they're doing vacation Bible school, come back, walk the dogs, get all the dogs and pets gone, get the clothes on, go to work because I'm actually going back to work. Go to work. Me and Melissa both come home, get the kids. Get the dogs, get everything doing, cook dinner, make dinner, get in the car, go to the guest house, sleep, wake up, 6 a.m., do it all over again. It's just been a constant...
At least, so now you're fixed. You're back. Life returns to normal.
I'm in my chair. Cool air is blowing.
Baby.
It sucks that I'm going to have this expenditure, but you know what? Also... grateful that I have credit. I was able to finance it how I'm sure there's plenty of people this has happened and they had no recourse, and that would suck much worse. So
and for all that you said, like $7,000, not that bad. Like I usually ballpark that stuff 10 to 15 if you really got to do it.
Yeah.
So you did all right. It sucks. You're only out for 3 days.
Yeah, well, and that was the funny part because they were like, well, we might be able to get you on Friday. And I was like, no Friday.
Please
I was like, I'm about to pay you right now, like the whole thing. Because I was going to do some price shopping.
Sure.
Home Depot had much better financing, but probably a little heavier price. And I was looking around and they were like, well, we can get you in Friday. I was like, Friday's not good. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, I got a whole life and everything you're putting on hold. Like, if I'm going to write you a check right now for $7,000, Friday needs to be Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
much faster.
I'm glad they could accommodate that.
They did.
That's like good. You're back.
I'm back.
It's better.
I'm back.
Better now.
And before my life went to hell, I did play some video games, and I had a very, very good, fun time playing Xbox Empire Game of the Year. Apparently, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
We're back to Valhalla. You're playing the DLC that's set in like Ireland, right? Is that what you're doing?
Amazing. I had a great time playing the DLC. I played it over 2 or 3 days. I'm probably in it for 15 or 18 hours. It's not like a 2-hour story.
Nice.
Ireland is great. I had an absolute blast playing this DLC. I liked the story until the very end. The ending was kind of wonky.
You never really stick the landing on their story.
Okay. There's this really sweet Irish lass named Cara.
Redhead
with cool face paint. Like just Irish version of Aloy. And she sings real pretty and she's so nice and cute. Like I was swooning. And the Ireland countryside is amazing.
The pictures are beautiful. Beautiful
pagan worship stuff that they've got, all this Blair Witchy skulls and twigs being, stuff together, and lots of fog. It rains a lot. It's muddy. Yeah. I was digging the countryside. And I think for me, more than anything, the idea of returning to Valhalla sounds daunting because it's just such a big, gigantic game. True. This is like a little mini version of Valhalla. It's like you get to play all that Valhalla has to offer in a 18-hour, 15-hour. I've heard many people, I think, are mainlining as fast as 10 hours, 8 hours. But you get to do everything that you do in Valhalla. Like no spoilers, but I mean, if you've played Valhalla, I don't even think if you've seen a trailer for Valhalla, like you usurp politics, you put kings into power, like you do the same stuff you've done. It's not like it's brand new stuff. It's just a brand new story, a brand new motivation. There's new characters. I do like the characters. I think the writing in this DLC is better told than the writing in the main game.
Nice.
And it might be because it's condensed that you're just getting more of it faster.
I think that helps in games like this too, because you don't meander as much when it's tighter. You know what I mean? Like that game, the base game is big, and you meander, and you're like, "What was I doing? Who was I talking to?"
There's some city building, like you build up some bases because you've got some trade posts that you need to up so you can, get more stuff and all that. And I just fell way, way hard into it for a few days, and it was perfect because we had Scarlet Nexus on the way and Mario Golf was on the way, and I just needed something to kind of fill the time, and I got in and I got out, and it was glorious. It was amazing.
All you played? Was that the bulk
I think
of your week?
I'm sure I played something else, but I don't remember.
Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you about what I did. I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, for the last year, I've been half time at work, 20 hours a week, right? Because the kids have been home and I've been helping them get through school. So as of July 1st, I go back to work full time, 40 hours. Thing is, though, I don't have childcare to pay for anymore. I don't have private school to pay for anymore. Mm-hmm. So all that money is just sitting there. So I decided, because I'm on vacation this week. Sorry, dude, my CPA husband would kick my ass. So my CPA husband, I told him, I was like, I'm thinking about buying a new TV. Basement.
Yeah.
I'm overdue. My TV's 6 years old.
One of us.
I went all the way. And then I looked it up on Best Buy, and the set that I have been oogling over for months was $400 off. How do you say no?
Right?
And I get
you almost have to buy
back.
it. You have to buy it.
So I went there and I bought a 65-inch LG C1 OLED. And I've never clenched my butt so hard installing a TV in my entire life. This panel is so thin that you can see it flex when you breathe too close to it, right? So Don and I took the TV out, and so I shuffled 3 TVs around my house. That's what I did. Monday I was sweating so much. I took the living room TV out. That's going to my dad's shop. He wants it. Fine. Old Vizio, probably over 10 years old. Took the basement LG and put it up in the living room.
Sure.
Recabled the living room. Mm-hmm. Then we installed the base on this panel and got that fucking 65-inch TV down into the basement, holding our breath, turning corners.
Yeah.
We got it installed. Don's looking at it and he goes, "Never been so terrified to move a piece of technology in my life." I'm like, "Yo, me too." We were beside ourselves. It's the most beautiful TV I've ever owned in my entire life. Yeah, we totally were don't make the joke until we put the TV down, then you can make the joke and laugh about it, but we totally did that after. Oh. I'm sitting here next to it, and I still can't believe how skinny it is. It's like a credit card.
Oh, yeah.
So thin.
Mine's not that thin, but I've seen them, yeah.
It's wild, and the blacks are so black that it looks like I can't look at any other TV ever again. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I'm spoiled for all other TVs. So then I did the thing where I booted up the Xbox and just started playing,
just stuff.
Cycling games on. Boot the Xbox up, the Xbox automatically said, "Yo, your TV can do Dolby Vision and 120 hertz now. Do you want to enable that? How about some variable refresh rate?" I'm like, turn it all on.
Yeah.
Turn it all on for me. Apparently the firmware just came out for this TV that will support Dolby Vision at 120 hertz.
Wow.
Now.
Nice.
I haven't gotten there quite yet, but so I just started playing games. I was just like Tetris Effect.
Yeah.
What else did I boot up?
You definitely should take a look at Valhalla if you haven't.
That's on my list for this week because I was just cycling through whatever, just to see the colors pop. And then the children and my husband started taking over the basement. All of a sudden, everybody wants to be down here.
Of course.
Because they wanted to watch, I got Ratchet queued up to play too. And
no, don't worry about that. Skip that.
Calm yourself.
I beat Ratchet. Like it's
Did
done.
you-
Yeah, I've done it. It's
I
great.
need to. I'm gonna
It's-
play it.
It's amazing.
I'm excited.
It's
Excited.
it's technically amazing.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it. It's like
Like-
anything that can run. I got to play Ori because that's one of the 120 hertz games. Yeah.
Forza, Gears 5.
Forza, Gears 5. Like I
Yeah.
started installing games that I've finished. Forza looks amazing. I played some of Forza.
Nice.
And, like the kids are just like, let's watch Netflix down here because Netflix is 4K
I know. I brought
HDR.
this up a lot when I bought my TV on Game Tech and Empire at the time. Like, I wonder how many people out there are buying new consoles and just aren't seeing.
Bet a lot because the level of like I had my old LG LED was a 4K set.
Or like
with
in
HDR.
PS5's case, like they don't even have VR yet.
Oh, they don't do
And I don't know
variable
if they
refresh. And
will.
they don't.
But like, it's a big deal. Like when you see it,
be.
you're like, oh, this is real good. You know,
Yeah.
like playing Valhalla on PS5 has got to be just, different experience.
Right. I believe this PlayStation doesn't do the Dolby Vision either, right? It's just an Xbox thing?
It's just the Xbox thing, and I don't know if the console can support 120.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
think the
I don't know.
console can only do Dolby Vision 4K at 60.
Yeah.
I think.
So I basically like this. I haven't had a TV ever blow my mind quite like this.
Yeah.
I mean that genuinely. Like you turn this thing on, and because of the way the OLEDs work, they don't light the pixels that are supposed to be black. They just turn them off individually. So it's the purest black you can get out of a set. And I'm just like, I didn't think that would be a big deal until I looked at it. Like, oh my god! And so now everybody, like the kids, are like, let's watch movies in the basement. I bought that Lord of the Rings 4K.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was on Prime Day for $60 for all.
Lord of the
3
Rings
movies, so I
like
bought
the
it.
go-to?
Might be.
I feel like
I don't
everybody
know.
does that. It's like, was it Lord of the Rings? There's a bunch of them. Like
Well,
300 is one of them.
It's one of the few 4K UHD sets that are supposed to be remastered and look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Prime Day deal. It's usually $180 for that set, and
Sure.
it came up on Prime Day for $60. And I'm like, well, yeah.
Of course.
And we're gonna rewatch The Witcher in 4K.
And you
with
have
HDR.
to, right?
Yeah. Now I'm just gonna rewatch everything.
You reminded me of something that happened today with my AC repair technicians. They came in my basement. They're seeing all my things. To be honest with you, of all the things they saw, the thing that caught their most attention was Chucky and my horror movie self. They really were into the horror
We're all
movie
about
shelf.
that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But eventually, they started asking me about these new consoles. And these both guys, mid-30s, family guys. And we walked through the whole thing. And I was real proud of myself because they were like, have you tried the new PS5? They didn't even realize it was in the room because it was painted black. I was like, it's right there.
It's right there. It's there.
And he was like, oh, is that a new one? I was like, no, I painted it. And they're like, what about the Xbox? I'm like, it's right here. And
big black box.
it was so funny because they were like, I still have a 64, and I like opened the door. I'm like, there's one.
I got that too.
We just kept going down that road. But they asked me, and it was so funny because they asked me I think the quintessential tweet that angers fanboys. They were like, so which one should I get? And then the other guy goes, this is exactly what he says. He goes, I only play single player. So if you only play single player, you should get a PlayStation, right?
I agree. I mean,
And
friends.
I told him, this is exactly what I told him. Verbatim, I said, I really like Xbox. I have an Xbox podcast, so I'm going to be a little biased here. I said, but I'm going to tell you that if you only play 1 or 2 games a year and you like big blockbuster solo games like God of War and The Last of Us, then yeah, you should probably get a PlayStation.
I agree with that.
But then Elaine, here's what happens. I look at them and I go, do either of you know what Game Pass is? And they're like, I've heard about it. Like, what is it? And I'm like, you have no idea what Game Pass is, do you? And they're
Let me
like,
introduce you to my gnome friend.
so
He's chilling.
I opened it. I turned on the console and everything.
Oh my god, you gave the hard sell.
And I was like, I just scrolled all the way to the bottom and I clicked all games and I just started clicking through. And I was like, do you see all these games? Do you know how long, for one, if you just tap the thumbstick,
Takes a while.
do you know how long it takes to scroll to the bottom of the Game Pass page?
Takes a minute, dude.
So I'm just tapping while I'm talking. And I'm like, so you realize that the price of games have gone up. They're $70 each, right? And they're like, yeah, we heard that. That sucks, they're. And I'm like, if you just give Xbox $15 a month, you can play all of these games for free.
What's that? Yeah.
I was like, and when the new Halo comes out, You get to play it for free.
The one for free. And the Forza.
I was like, and when Forza Horizon 5 drops, look at it, and I go, this October, it's just here, and you get to play it right now, day one. And I was like, and I looked at the guy who said the PlayStation, I was like, and you're right. PlayStation has single-player games. I said, but have you heard that Xbox bought Bethesda?
Yeah,
and if you like Elder Scrolls and Skyrim and Starfield and Doom
just write the
and
commercials,
Prey,
guys.
I said, they'll all be there day one on Game Pass.
He should just write the commercials.
They
He should just write them.
They were blown away, and they had never heard about it. Like
That's wild.
Xbox is. I mean, it's hard to say they've got to do a better job, but I mean, it just shows like how many people are out there that are aware of gaming that aren't us. You know, these are just two dudes. They don't podcast. They don't YouTube. They're just two dudes. They fix air conditioners, and they left today. And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'm absolutely going to." He looked at me. He's like,
Xbox.
"I'm actually going to look into this." And he said, "I think I'm going to get that." And I was like, "Look," I was like, "I'm not trying to steer you wrong." I was like, "I also have a PlayStation." Like, I always hate coming off like a biased. I was like,
sure.
I
mean,
have
yeah.
both.
I'm just like, look.
My suggestion to you is to buy them all. But if you
Like
had
Pokemon.
to ask me, I was like, I think everybody needs Game Pass. Whether you play on PlayStation or Switch or PC or like everybody needs Game Pass. It's a whole separate deal. I gave them the whole thing. I talked about the show. I talked about Back for Blood. I talked about Outriders. I talked about Destiny. They were blown away. They couldn't believe it. They're like, Madden?
There's good games on there, man.
And one of the guys was a huge Battlefield guy. He was like, I play all the Battlefields. I was like, yeah, they're all here. He was like, this is insane. I was like, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is insane. Like, people don't realize it's insane how much Game Pass is awesome.
I hung out with my best friend this past weekend, and she's got a PlayStation 5. She podcasts. She usually ends up with all the consoles anyway.
We should have her on the show.
She's great, and she messaged me, and she's just like, I need to get an Xbox finally after that presentation.
Yeah.
You don't show 30 games, say 27 of them are coming to Game Pass, and for me not to finally hop on board. I'm like, yo, you do. So she scored a console just a couple days ago on the Amazon. She caught a notification at the good time. So very excited.
I helped Dev's guy get a PlayStation 5. He got mine, and I shipped it to him. Yeah. You know?
See?
Consoles coming back in stock. You got to help everybody move everything.
There's notifications turned on.
One of the cool things that they really liked is I booted up my TV, I turned on my LEDs, I threw up Valhalla, and I handed them the controller. And I was like, dude, I was like, I'm telling you, you need a new console. And I was like, and you need a new TV. I was like, your Roku TV from 2017 ain't gonna cut it.
Mine was older. I looked it up. Mine was a 2015 set, and I had been just holding on for so long. And
it's a fine panel to watch TV on, but it's just...
It was great for games until these new consoles came out. And now I'm just kind of like,
they're obsolete.
I want more out of it. And like hooking up this OLED, I'm like, why didn't I do this a year ago?
I feel like it's a bigger transition from like maybe even like the last days of SD TVs and like HD TVs, like that 720 jump. It's like this is a bigger deal. Like you're missing out on more now if you don't upgrade your panel than you were then. Because back then there were even some awesome SD TVs that were great.
I had one.
Right?
I had one, and I had a plasma that I loved for years and years before I went to an LED LCD. And that felt like a pretty big jump for me at the time because I was getting such a good refresh rate out of it. But this has got better blacks than my plasma had. Like this thing blew my mind. Like it's been a long time since I sat down in front of a set and then went upstairs to watch TV in the living room with the family, and I was like, no, we going down the basement.
Not good
Get
enough.
Get your snacks. I don't want to be up here anymore.
Watch
and
on
I had
this
that panel.
Garbo TV. What is this trash?
And I loved that TV. It served me for 6 years, still rocking. But I was like, no. Get
Bye,
your snacks.
Felicia.
We're going to the basement.
This is the kids'
for real.
TV.
My friend was like, oh, don't buy the OLED if you're going to be in a light room. I'm like, my basement's a tomb. It'll be great. It's so dark down here. It's so dark and cold.
A tomb.
It's perfect. It is a tomb. Like when I shut everything off, it's so dark. So the new TV is making all video games new again, and I'm very excited about it.
Very good.
So that was my week.
Nice.
I mean, look, turned out okay. We're back together on a Wednesday, Donnie. We made it.
Yeah.
The last couple months have been a little tough for both of us. I think in varying like back and forth. So I'm feeling good.
Yep.
I'm feeling good.
I could feel it yesterday. Like my neck is like super tense. I'm waking up with like that tension headache and everything. Like,
yeah, I was waking up with like first thing in the morning anxiety.
I need
from
like a
my stuff.
massage. I need a massage.
You just gotta go sit in your hot tub.
Yeah, I did that before we got on the show.
All right, let's talk about good stuff because there's some good news that's happened. E3 is done, but there's some cleanup news. So first things first, this one I'm pumped about. The Xbox controller design lab is back.
Correct.
Finally, we can make stupid things again in controller form. We got a question that's sort of associated with this. Nick says, such a great pick. With the return of design labs and expecting Xbox to continue to release themed options as well, what's your favorite controller from Xbox? And if you could design any controller for yourself, what would it look like? Favorite?
I tried designing a controller for us, an Empire controller, and I couldn't. There's nothing.
I can't get them to look the way. Yeah. My favorite Xbox controller that Gears 5 one is up there.
Which one was that?
The gray one. One we both own. Yep. I like that controller a whole lot. I love the blue in that controller. I think it really pops.
You remember they made a JD controller?
Oh.
Who wants that piece of junk? I don't think really there's been a character that's rolled out that I've disliked more than JD. Like when he came out and I was like, he's obviously not the star of this. Get him out of here.
He's up there. I also really like the Sea of Thieves controller they did, even though I don't love that game. It's just such a good looking controller.
Yeah.
Like
I was all in on Sea of Thieves before I played it.
I just love that.
Until I had that controller and everything.
I own it still. Like it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the controller I would design for myself would look like. I'm paralyzed by choice every time. Like I'm excited Design Lab is back, but I don't know what to make.
I would like,
I'm scared.
One, I just bought a controller that I'm really excited about. I got the Fable controller from Xbox Pope. And it's probably not the design that I would have in mind if I was designing a Fable controller, I'll admit. It's very, very brown and like kind of storybook almost looking like leather bounding type of thing. But I've always wanted something Fable, and there aren't many Fable things. There are no special editions, there's no controllers, there's no consoles, so I jumped at the opportunity to get that, and I'm happy I did, because if I had waited 4 days I could not have afforded it any longer. I should probably return it. I should probably return it.
You're here now, Donnie. You're here now. You're in it now, my friend.
If I could I've got two. If I could design a controller, I've got two. I hope they actually make one. I have an idea that I think would be great. I would like them to make a Game Pass themed controller. Just Xbox Game Pass, like something real gaudy with a Game Pass like all over it. Like I'm thinking of you remember that controller that Pope did with that Xbox label that came on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Something like that, but just Game Pass. Just Game Pass the hell out of it.
I'd probably buy that.
I would buy it. That would be really dumb and stupid, and I would buy it. The other thing that I would want is I'd like to build an Empire controller. In my head, it's like green or black as the base, but you got to be able to individually color the buttons so we can have our buttons the correct
our configuration,
because we flip it, and then I don't know, it's either black and green or green and black in terms of faceplate and sticks.
Like black faceplate green, like neon ass green sticks.
Of course,
for me,
yeah.
I prefer a black controller with pop of color as opposed to a really bright controller with blacked out spots. That's a personal thing, though.
Sure.
That would look really good. I think about that a lot. I love that neon green on black look so much, But I always do this. I'm always I'm going to make a controller, and then I get into Design Lab, and I'm I'm scared by the choices. I
want a really, really good artist to make one for me.
Cool.
Just look around me. I don't want to make one. I want to pay somebody that's much better at that to make one for me.
Kind of like that too. Kind of like that too. But I am excited that they're letting you Design Lab with the new controller like that. I love this new controller. Those little tweaks are very, very good. So it's exciting to me that you can do that again. So
I definitely like it. Design Lab is awesome. I wish everybody did it, but I got to tell you that I was hoping a little bit more when they brought Design Labs back. They basically just brought Design Labs back.
As was, yes.
Are they ever going to add any textures or patterns or icons or logos or maybe let you customize an Elite or let you put Elite features on a regular controller? Just give us a little bit more options other than just colors and putting a little screen name on it. Not that it's bad. It's definitely awesome, but it's it does feel like one of those things that after a few years now, it's we can do so much better. Why aren't there like little. Why isn't there like a collection of emojis or symbols or something that you can also use? You know?
I feel you on that. I wonder if there's some sort of manufacturing or printing constraint there or price. Like, I wonder if that jumps it to a place that they don't feel comfortable doing
People
it.
still pay for it. Like,
no.
When I think of Design Labs, I think of like Colorware. And if you've ever been to the Colorware website, like, why don't they have those sorts of? The Colorware has not only do they have every color, they have it in every finish. You can customize every button. You can customize every stick. You can make metallic, or you can make it sparkly, or like you can put glitter in it. Like, they go the extra mile, and it costs more.
Yeah, they're pricier.
Somebody who uses the service, but I like it more. Like, I want to use the service because that's what I'm there for. If I'm gonna pay somebody a crazy amount for a controller, then give me the controller that I want.
One of those chameleon paint jobs where the light hits it and it looks different, like purple and
changes
green.
colors.
That would, hell yeah, I'm dumb. I love dumb things.
Let's put LED Xbox buttons in the controller.
That would be dope.
See?
That would be great. I am definitely the whale who is willing to pay for dumb things. Not everybody is willing to do that, but I think having the options in there for people at the price bracket would be awesome. You know, like,
I think the whole part of customizing a controller is to make it personal. It's personalization versus customization. And you're just limited when it's like, here are some colors and I get, 14 characters. Now, a lot of people do some awesome stuff with it. I've seen GameCube inspired Xbox controllers and PlayStation inspired. Like, so I get it. It's still cool what can be done. Obviously, I think I look for a little bit more, I think, in my controllers.
I don't disagree with you. And I hope that it evolves more. I hope it's back and then they start to evolve it. That would be really cool to see. I'm just glad it's back. It was gone for the better part of over a year now, right? Yeah. So I'm just glad in general that people have the option if they want, to make a gift for someone, for example, or whatever. So just in general, I think it's a neat thing. You can get colors, at least base colors, that you cannot get from, off the shelf. I just
all
think
the purple controllers.
Oh, give me orange. I love an orange controller.
I'm thinking like the red controller that I got. I keep looking at it. I rarely use it. I'm thinking about turning it purple.
What?
Yeah, I think I'm going to turn it purple.
I'm never going to stop enabling you. I'm the worst.
Well, with those kits, for anybody that doesn't know, if you've never seen I have a green transparent, like Xbox green transparent Xbox One or Xbox Series controller, and you can get the kit from Amazon. It's called Extreme Rate. I think Extreme Rates, something like that. Look it up. It's like $20, and you can swap the entire shell out. And here's the thing. It's really not that hard. There's a YouTube tutorial. I think I did it in like 15 minutes. It's not that bad.
They're not that bad, especially if you already have the tools for that particular controller. And if you don't, those kits are super cheap. I have at least one. I don't have a Nintendo one, but I do have one for Xbox.
I did, since I've done it
before.
I have learned or noticed that I prefer the shell on those. I think they feel like the Xbox One shell. They feel a little whiter.
Okay.
And they just have the share button cut out, and I definitely like it more. Like I basically have moved completely to just using that green controller now. Nice. Because it feels better when I'm holding it. It just feels a little bit more full. They shaved it down a little for a series, and I think some people like that. I think I've learned over time. I don't know if I like that as much.
Fair enough. I like that it's not that Gears controller got that sheen to it, that slippery feeling. The actual controller, I like that. Yeah, I like the matte more. I like the grip on it more. I just do. It's a personal thing.
It's got that grip.
So I like that. I like that feeling. I can hold it for longer and not feel like my hands are sliding all over it.
Sure.
Maybe I'm just sweaty. Maybe I'm just a sweaty person. That's entirely. I am kind of a sweaty person. I'm actually a super gross human being when I'm actually not usually in the basement tomb, but sometimes. So, but yeah. Design Lab being back is good. I really do want to see them add some options, like two tones and stuff like that. I want to be able to see the sticks be two different colors, stuff like that would be cool. Yeah. Unlock the options. Let people do dumb crap.
It'd be cool if you could do metal D-pads or, bring in some Elite sticks. Like, you buy a controller and just upgrade to an Elite stick if you want.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Metal triggers.
Those triggers.
Those would be easy to throw on a plastic controller if you wanted to. It's not hard.
No, and people will pay more to meet in the middle.
Different colors?
Instead of going...
Let them make different color buttons, different color triggers, different colored bumpers.
Just let every button have whatever you want on it.
Yep.
At the very minimum, let me have 2 different sticks, 2 different triggers, 2 different bumpers. Let me do whatever I want there. And then if you want to add features after that, cool. But at least give people like the full breadth of like, don't make me match the sticks and the bumper. Come on, let me do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
That'd be fun.
Let me have it. All right, what do we got? What's going on with Xbox Cloud Gaming, Donnie? Tell me about it.
Xbox Cloud Gaming is getting an upgrade. Now, this shouldn't be news. They've been talking about they're doing this. But for a lot of people, I think it's catching them off guard that it's happening so fast. But, I was on podcast during E3 week with my buddy Chase over on his, it's called The Gaming Advocate over on his YouTube channel. People should subscribe.
Yep.
He's Chase, a good guy. And we were talking about that, and he was like, are you surprised that this is happening so fast? And I was like, not really. No, it's Microsoft. No. That's what they do. I'm pretty sure they can change out an entire fleet and update hundreds of millions of Windows devices in a day if they want. Like this is what they're capable of. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should have been. I feel like a lot of people are, and I'm just not for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe we should be.
I feel like this is the sell. Like they're evolving the blades to be Series X blades.
Correct, from Xbox One blades.
And the whole point of doing that is to allow people who are still using Xbox Ones to get better streaming,
or
not
PC or cloud or phone or whatever you're doing. Like if you're Chucky and you've got your Game Pass controller, like you're good to go.
They're enabling more people to buy into Game Pass without getting a console upgrade, especially when it's hard right now to find them. I feel like perhaps this feels fast to me a little bit, but it's happening because they didn't expect to still have stock issues at this point in the year. So they're like, screw it, bump the blades.
That's a good theory.
Get to them faster, and then we'll deal with our supply issues.
They're also
just the way
rolling
it
it out.
in my brain.
I think the thing that surprised me most is that they're rolling it out in pieces. It's not everything. It's certain games.
Correct.
Certain games. Correct. This is how this has basically been uncovered. Is that people started playing cloud, and they just realized they're like, wait a second, Siege has 120 frames options. Like that's not available on Xbox One. That wasn't available. All of a sudden, it's loading faster. All of a sudden, it looks better. I listened to the Xbox 2 podcast with Jez Corden. And a couple weeks ago, he talked about how these new blades, how the Xbox Series X has overhead for video encoding built into the system, whereas Xbox One never did. So they're always using this post-processing video encoding, which apparently is really hard when you're rendering 3D graphics and camera controls. This is why the latency on Xbox Cloud was apparently so awful. And his theory was this video encoding overhead is going to make the latency feel so much better. I can confirm what he's saying because I played Cloud today. I plugged my controller in. I was like, you know what? Let's give it the old test a whirl. I threw it in the browser while they were working on the air conditioner. I booted up Gears 5. It loaded like that. It looked that much better. It played that much smoother. It's not... If Stadia is a 10 in the latency and performance department, the games that are running on the new blades for Microsoft are a 9. It's not.
That's pretty good.
Right there, closer. I don't think, but it's much closer. Whereas before, I would have said it was like a 5. Yeah. I've always used Gears as my test, so this isn't a part of me like taking one experience and not the other. I always go to Gears 5, and I keep playing it. On the Xbox One version, I had so many issues. A lot of it audio latency, the music and everything with garbled.
Told me about those.
No issues today. Yeah. I actually handed the controller to the AC guy. I was like, "You don't even need an Xbox if you get Game Pass. You just do this."
Oh God, Donnie, you're.
And he started moving around, and he was like, "This is just through the internet." I was like, "You're just streaming." I'm like, "This isn't running on my PC at all."
This is a hard sell, kids. He's gone all the way down the rabbit hole.
It was good.
Yeah, I'm glad to see this is starting to happen, and it seems like there's a pretty good list. Apparently, Reset Era's got a compiled list. Gears is on there. Wolfenstein, the show is on there.
Gamers are such dorks. Like, this news comes out, and what do? We immediately start coming a list. We're like, look, you test A through C, I'll take D through F. You got G.
This is the power of the internet, y'all. We're just like, we're gonna break it down. That people broke down a pretty good list of these if you want to Google it. But like, stuff like Gears belongs on here. Ori is on here. That's great. It's good to see
the show.
And
I played the show.
The show. I'm glad they did it with the show. Destiny 2 is on here. Dirt 5, which is an interesting choice. Okay. Look, Halo Master Chief Collection is also in here. Like I'm glad to see them doing this as quickly as possible. Like, this is what, if you're not going to have supply for consoles, then this makes sense. Do it faster. People who already have the one will jump maybe on board. So,
it was so good that if it's going to be that good, Maybe when I'm at work or whatever, I may consider pulling out a controller and playing on my lunch break or something. Like, that was good. It was good enough that I'll be open to it now.
I'm glad to see this is happening so fast. This needs to happen.
I want little Xbox cloud machines. I want like a little Apple TV like Xbox Game Pass box.
That's interesting.
I want it to look like the Series X. I basically want the top,
like a small one.
the top fourth of the Series X, cut it off. I want the grill and everything. You know, I want.
Oh, you want like the green glow?
Yeah,
and the grill?
same thing.
Right.
You just plug it in. It's little. You know, it's 4 inches tops, right? A little box, and you set it down. You plug it in. Power HDMI cord controller. You sell it for, I think $99 is the number, but knowing Microsoft, $129.99, and you're off to the races.
3 months of Game Pass bundled in.
Oh, beautiful.
Got
Even
it.
better.
You got to do that. That has to happen. If you're going to sell that box, you have to.
Do you know how many of those I would buy for Christmas presents? Like, everybody that I know suddenly started getting Game Pass.
I would get them for my kids and just swap out their One X's or their old ones.
Absolutely. I will put them all around the house. I will light up every TV with one of those boxes just so I can, if I have
if it also,
want,
like,
I can just leisurely walk into any room and do it.
I was just seeing in chat someone suggested it should come with a little Game Pass gnome figure. It should be one of those little gnomes that'll hold
an ornament. We need a Game Pass gnome ornament.
It'll just hold it.
Maybe that's what we do this year for. All right, so in the years past, PSVG has done Christmas ornaments for patrons that subscribe to the high level. Would it be wrong of us to just Rochambeau the rest of PSVG's existence? Like, no Shack, no Empire.
You just want to do a gnome?
And it's just the gnome. It's just an Xbox Empire on behalf of PSVG. Here's the Empire
Game
gnome.
Pass says, look, I want one. So even if we don't make them for patrons, we got to make them for us. I want to put that on my tree.
That's not a bad idea.
That needs to be on my tree.
I think we can make that happen.
We need to make that
That's
happen.
pretty good. I might write that down.
You should put that in your list. While you put that in your list, let me talk about these monitors, because apparently Xbox Microsoft has announced like this design for Xbox partnership, right? They're working with Philips, Acer, Asus, and they're creating 3 monitors, which essentially are like, look, these are going to meet the stats of the Series X consoles and make them look pretty. And they're priced competitively for what monitors in these ranges are. Note, still probably cheaper in some situations to buy yourself an OLED. Okay, a Philips is a 55-inch. It's got an attached soundbar. It's a Bowers and Wilkins soundbar. They make nice speakers. It's got the colored lighting in the back.
That's a pretty
4K,
TV. I like the way it looks. Just its whole setup and everything.
Badass in pictures. 4K, 120 hertz, supports HDMI 2.1. It supports AMD's FreeSync and HDR, and it's running 1600. It's hard to find a monitor that supports HDR. That's, first of all, this is a TV. That is less than that price point. Like, that's not actually terribly priced. I realize everybody's going to balk, but that's very close in price to the 55-inch OLED. Like, it's a little less.
The missing feature in all of these, no VRR, I don't think, on any
correct.
of these.
Well, FreeSync kind of plays by some of that.
I don't like
those
that.
rules, but Asus is a 43-inch, pretty much all the same features as above 1400, and then the Acer at a 28-inch is 900. That's pretty competitive.
Oh, Dev corrects me. He says they all have VRR. When I looked up the notes, they explicitly said that they were lacking VRR, but I would trust Dev to know more about the monitors than me.
Dev's got it. The 28-inch Acer is pretty competitively priced. Like, that's in there, especially if it supports HDR at 900. I mean, monitors that support HDMI 2.1 are few and far between. Monitors that support HDR at good prices are few and far between. So it's good that
my air conditioner before my air conditioner exploded, I've been considering getting a big small monitor and replacing. I have the dual monitor here. I had the ultra wide, but I didn't like the ultra wide because it wasn't 4K. So I was thinking
I have an ultra wide as well.
I was thinking of getting something like a 38, 42, 44-inch monitor.
Tell you how I solved this problem. I have the ultra wide and then a little monitor and then my TV, and it's just wired in, and I just push 4K.
You just roll
this TV.
In your chair.
I just go sit over there and put Steam in big picture mode on the 4K TV, and it supports G-Sync. So whatever, I'm never leaving my.
Look at Dev. Dev says I've been following the monitors since before they were Xbox branded. How much does you think that hurt? They just rolled out and they just put little Xbox stickers on them, and he's just like,
he doesn't care. He's just gonna peel the sticker off.
He totally cares. He woke up the day he saw the Xbox article and he was like, never again. I would never, ever even consider it. He wouldn't buy one of those
Philips,
used.
Acer, and Asus are out. Oh, please. I just, like I said, I think At the 55-inch level, you're better off almost buying the OLED TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a couple $100 more, or even around that price, if you got 55-inch OLED, it's close. It's not the C1, but it's close. At the Acer 28-inch is pretty competitive. Like that fits. So
Thanks.
they make nice monitors.
I've got the NanoCell. So just to bring you down for viewers on the other end of that, I got the budget version of all this stuff. That was explicitly what we set out for. I wanted the cheapest next gen TV, the TV that offered all the things, the cheapest price, and that was the LG NanoCell. And I love it for all the same reasons.
It's a beautiful set.
It's the new stuff, and I got mine for $550. And I think they retail like $699, but they've been on sale often, a few times. I think at Black Friday they were like $5 flat. And if you're on the low end and you can't afford a $1,500 TV, I understand. But if you can get a $500 swap, it's worth it.
The NanoCell I looked at the NanoCells and I said, I'm going to future-proof myself by going OLED, but I also have the disposable income to make that call. Like the NanoCell is a really beautiful set for what they price it at.
I mean, you guys see my Twitter.
Really
you see the pictures I've taken of my TV constantly? Like, it could be you.
Pretty
good.
Pretty good. Speaking of pretty good, it sounds like the Judgment remaster is hitting Game Pass soon.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
It's not surprising anybody, right? Like every Yakuza game
the entire
ever.
Yakuza series is there. And also I will say, I'm not sure if you're going to be into Yakuza. Judgment's really good.
Yeah.
You guys should check that game out.
Judgment
is really good.
I normally don't claim to ever have a backlog. Judgment is in my backlog. I bought it. I played 5 hours of it. I was really digging it. Something else came out. I don't remember what it was. I started playing something else and then Ratchet, and it's like I feel like for 6 weeks I keep thinking like I need to get back to Judgment, and I haven't.
Judgment's great.
I haven't had the time to get back yet.
It's one of few games I think does a good job with its story too, and I liked the ending. I felt like it stuck the landing. It's a great game.
The upgrade is nice on series consoles.
Significant, significant. Tell me about this last story, man. Hit me with it.
Okay. So this came out a couple days ago, and now many outlets have corroborated. So it's Eurogamer, it's VGC, it's Chronicles, it's IGN. It all spurned from, pretty sure Jeff. I think Jeff kicked it off.
Of course he did. Why wouldn't
EA
he?
and EA Motive was kicking off what he deemed, quote, a revival of an established IP, which is then basically everybody has basically come out and says Dead Space. It's Dead Space. They're making another Dead Space game. Here's the thing. When that was said, everybody, I think rightfully, my head included, was like, collection. Just like Mass Effect is going to be awesome.
Sure.
Doesn't sound like that's it at all. This is a brand new game. This is a reimagined take on Dead Space. The only clue that I could get was, and I'm paraphrasing, if you look at the landscape of what people are doing with horror games, you can guess what this is. Don't like that. Doesn't sound great.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That makes me think Dead by Daylight, Friday 13th, Evil Dead. We're about to get a Dead Space co-op multiplayer service game.
Hey, here's what I want. I don't care if that happens. That's fine. What I would like is for that to churn enough money and interest to remaster the 3 games. At least to remaster the 2. The third one's fine. But what I really want is that first game. I played them recently, and I still think they hold up and they're still scary. Boy, would I love a remaster with the lighting and the sound and, like, bad.
I've been saying this since the Mass Effect thing, because I believe, and you might correct me here, because this is about as far as it went down the Mass Effect hole, but the Mass Effect upgrade was like an AI-inspired, like, tool. It was like a tool set. It was like a filter and an engine-level deployment. It wasn't like somebody scrubbing through scene by scene, fixing it all up. Like, they basically did a lot of that with AI learning, right?
They did some of it, yeah. It was a combination of the two things, because they did rework all the controls for the first game and a bunch of other stuff. But, like, I really love Dead Space. Like, it is up there for me.
If they had a toolkit like that, I think that's what I said then. I was like, well, if they're going to do this for Mass Effect, well, it makes sense to do it for Dead Space.
But I think, and Sean's bringing this up in the chat, I think there is another way to read this. And the other way is, it could be what Capcom has done with these Resident Evil remakes. That has become a very big trend. They pulled 2, they pulled 3, they remade them, they rebuilt them from essentially the ground up, and that could be what we're talking about here.
Maybe so.
That's become a thing.
He didn't give me any hints. That was my cue. He said a lot of what other publishers are doing in plural.
Well,
I figured if that was the case, maybe he would have said something. And I honestly think if that was the case, if it was Resident Evil remakes, I think it would be considered more of a remake than a reimagining. Reimagining feels new and different.
Maybe.
Like,
I mean,
RE2 remake and RE3 remake, even for all their differences, they're remakes. Like, they're branded as remake. They're just they're remade games.
But they have that RE-verse attached to them, that multiplayer mode. So I wonder if it's a combination of the two things.
I hope so.
I would love that.
We won't know until EA Play, but I don't think if it is a live service game, the other part of it makes me think that is motive. To be quite frank.
It's fair.
EA Motive, that's what they do, right? They do Battlefront and they do Squadrons. Like, it would be crazy for them to be like, and here's our single player story game. Like,
I'd be
excited.
I think it'd be more likely to be both or just the service game than it is to be just the remake of the single player. That is probably not going to happen.
What if they announce
money on that
this is a live service game without any inclination or mention of the originals or a remaster report? And is that bad? Is that meant bad? Or are people so starved for Dead Space hope they'll take whatever they can get?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that for me personally, the attraction of those games is the solo-ness and the scary.
Same.
You know what I mean? And so for me, like, it's not necessarily like bad, but it's not something I want to engage with.
That's what we were talking about in the chat. And I was like, man, if there's a company that would trot out the Dead Space logo for something that's absolutely the opposite of what Dead Space fans want.
They would.
It is totally EA, and when I say it out loud, I'm like, that sounds like exactly like what's about to happen, to be honest with you.
They might, and I kind of, like, I want to be hopeful that they do both. I want to be hopeful they pull a Resident Evil and they say, here is our services under multiplayer thing that's free to play, buy a bunch of stuff, but here's the campaign that latches
in my head, like, I feel like they have to know better. Like, you can't be that detached that you're like, here's Dead Space, Dreams or whatever they're going to call it, with no, like, no remaster, no collection, no port, nothing. They announced. They totally could. I was like, oh, that cannot be all that, because that's not good.
It would really bum me out.
And people would be mad. I think the criticism would be strong for that. I don't think that's how you kick a game like that off. If you announce a remaster, all of a sudden people are open to your multiplayer or whatever.
I think if you pair them together like Capcom has successfully done, like, am I interested in playing Resident Evil Reverse? Not really, but am I going to try it? Yeah, why not? For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Like, it's there and you're nudging me in. If they had just tried to launch that thing as a $60 title or even a free-to-play title, I wouldn't engage with it at all, because I just don't care. You know what I mean? I like Mercenaries.
It's not what people want.
It's not what I want.
It's not what I don't think it's what anybody wants. And here's the funny thing is, I did talk to some folks on Twitter about it when it was hot. There are a lot of people that were really excited by that news. By my speculation, like, what if it's a multiplayer game? They were like, sounds great. Oh, and I thought that was surprising. I was like, wow.
I think people are that universe is so cool and unique that I think I get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get wanting to just engage with more of it. It's such a cool, like, crazy Scientology horror universe that feels very unique. That I get it, like, wanting more. Sure, I would. Am I going to check it out either way? Probably. I really love that franchise.
I feel like after E3, I'm a bit too oversensitive to the co-op friendly team-based game. It feels like every game is that. It's like you and 3 of your friends can get together, and it's like, God, every game is doing that.
I would see this being more like the asynchronous multiplayer stuff that Resident Evil does, where there's somebody's controlling the monsters and other people. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a mix of both. I think that would make a lot of sense and be cool.
Yeah, my first thought was like a Dead by Daylight clone. It seems like a lot of people are jumping on that well.
Yeah, well, it's doing well. So I want this to be, when is
that's legit. You're right. They're killing it on the DLC front, by the way.
Oh, they have Resident Evil in there now.
Yeah,
they're doing it, man. They're doing everything. I want to like that game enough.
Sean. New Candyman trailer was hot. It was so good. It's real good. I can't wait to go see the movie.
I am gonna see it in my basement and be very scared.
Is it same day?
I don't know, and even if it's not, I'll wait. This TV is so good, I don't want to go to movie theaters.
No, I'll just watch it twice. I can't. I gotta see it.
Oh, you're like that. Oh, fair enough.
I gotta see it right away. Theaters. Day one.
They're very sticky. I'm not a fan of the sticky.
It'd be nice to be able to watch it from home. Maybe it's on the HBO Max, whatever. That'd be cool.
I love that. That's my new favorite thing ever.
It isn't it?
That it's just a day one. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of things that are, well, better at home. Game Pass updates right now. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is in the cloud. Yet Immortal Realms Vampire Wars game is there. Limbo. Worms Rumble. Gang Beasts, Bug Fables, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, which is actually very fun. Proteus and Iron Harvest are on PC.
I saw some hype for that. I don't know what those games are.
Yeah. Proteus is supposed to be very good. I have not checked it out yet. And then Space Jam? July 1st?
Did you read the story about that?
No.
It's a fan-made project that Xbox started. They created a service, a contest, for fans to submit like little game jams based on Space Jam. And they picked 2 people and they put their ideas together and they made this little game. Now, I want to like it. The art style is very Genesis and old and it's cool.
Yes.
But it's a beat 'em up. And I hate saying that like that because I love beat 'em ups, but the last thing that I think of when I think of Space Jam, basketball, and LeBron James
is a beat 'em up. Yeah.
Like, why a beat 'em? Like there's no basketball being played at all.
Oh, I know. But
that seems like a huge miss.
You could buy one of 3 limited controllers.
Dude.
These controllers, y'all.
The
wow.
Their serververse controller is hot.
They're
Black and like
wild.
that hot turquoise teal color or whatever. It's really nice. Here's the thing. When I first saw that controller, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to buy that because that's gonna be a collector's item one day and like it's gonna be
I bet you're right.
But then when I thought that, me thinking that was like, nope, everybody else is gonna think that too, and it's not. Like you go through that process in your head. Like if I'm thinking that, I'm sure
everybody
else is thinking that too, and it won't be. It'll be like the Goon Squad one or something. It'll be the least of them, but it might be.
I agree. I mean, you gotta buy all 3.
I can't. No, I'm done with controllers.
I know. I won't even do that.
My Fable one at this point's put me out of home at this point. So
I have new PS5 controller colors in my house. So I have so many controllers. I have the black and the red. I don't want to talk about it.
Raspberry.
It's definitely not red.
It's so pink, right? it's not red.
I would use the word maroon, but I've
raspberry.
It next to it's.
So that's what me and Dev came up with. This raspberry.
Raspberry is a good description for it. My son, I took it out and he's looking at it. He's like, that says cosmic red, right? I'm like, that's the color it's supposed to be. What do you think? And he looks at it and he goes, think you got gypped. It's not red.
Right?
The room. I love that kid. He's so funny.
There's a part of me that would be. I think if they were like, we're making a red controller, and I bought that controller and I unpackaged it and I'd return it probably. I'd be a little miffed. Like this isn't red at all.
But it's not red. Like it's funny because I don't think that Microsoft's Pulse Red is red either. It's almost orange. It's right on the border. The one that Microsoft calls Pulse Red is just...
Well, it's funny. I think if you put the Pulse Red next to the old DualShock Red, I think they're actually really close. That's what I was doing at GameStop because we were comparing them at I was at GameStop and I was like,
I was doing this. Yes,
I was like, see, these are red. I was like, this is not red. But
Pulse Red is very on the border of almost being orange. Like,
I'm excited that so many people. From everybody I've talked to, and this not just Dev, everybody I've talked to that has the Cosmic Red, they all say they really like it. So that's good.
I like it too. I like the color a lot in person. I thought I told you that thing was orange. Yeah, Dev. It's me. It's like it's really on the border for me. It's very close. I like a deeper, like almost candy apple red.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Cosmic Red a lot.
Yeah, mine's like a scarlet. My DualShock.
Yeah, yours is.
And I think a lot of people think that's red. But like red is like fire hydrant red.
It's so red.
Yeah, that's like real red. That's what the Pulse controller is, like real red.
Yeah, for my eyes, it plays almost as orange, just the way my rods and cones work.
Really
but also,
bright.
I have a candy apple red Harley. That's the red I think of when I
think red. You know? Sure.
And that's my red.
Like Vita.
Yeah, that's orange.
Well, it's red.
That's so weird. That looks orange to me. That's wild. All right, now that we've had our debate about the blue dress, the white dress, and the red controllers, we can move on to questions. Donnie, I'm going to kick one off with an easy one before we get into the harder one. Drew, with so many games coming to Game Pass over the next 12 months, what titles are you guys looking forward to the most? Let's just go now to the end of the year.
Forza.
I mean, Forza
Halo, 12 Minutes, The Ascent, and what was the other indie game that's coming? There was 3 of them, right? The Ascent.
There's like a bajillion of them.
12 Minutes and another one. I've already forgotten.
Forza might be the most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's up there for
top,
just
and it's coming to Game Pass.
the entire thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Like, also they're discussing fire hydrant colors in the chat, and they're yellow around here too. They're not red.
Well, you know what I mean. The traditional.
I know. I did
Yeah.
busting. Their balls are being busted. That's how this works. All right, your turn.
Look, I love how Sean and Ryan are like, they're yellow. Like, okay, Canadians.
Look, Canada. Okay.
Okay.
They're yellow in South Jersey too. though.
Much music. Okay, you take your weird colors and go somewhere else.
Oh my God. All right. All right, Donnie, give me a question. Let's do this.
Let's do Ryan's, because that might eat up the rest of the show. Who knows?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Good question. I have done zero preparation for this question, so I feel like
Damn,
I'm going to
it's gonna
regret
be
it.
Yeah,
You and
whatever.
Elaine
What are
are
we gonna do?
team captains in charge of creating a superstar team from games available on Game Pass. Going
Currently,
back
right
and
now.
forth, draft your 5 teammates.
Oh my God.
So we're going to have a
all
little
right, I
draft. Game Pass draft.
Have a draft. I get the first pick. You get the second, which means Donnie gets the last pick. I've done precious little preparation for this.
Well, that's good. I've done none. I've zero.
I don't know, so I'm thinking about it. This is everything currently available in Game Pass, not stuff that's not out yet.
No future stuff. Yep.
I would like Ori and the Will o' the Wisps. Sorry, bye, dude. Would like Ori and the Will o' the Wisps.
That makes
Got
it a little
Donnie.
harder on me. That was my pick.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pick a different one. It was between that and a different game. It was very back and forth.
I'll take Halo.
You want Halo 5?
Master Chief Collection.
You want Master Chief Collection? I want Forza Horizon 4.
That's the one I was thinking about. And I wanted to pick it, but I don't love Forza Horizon 4 that much. I felt like it would have been disingenuous.
That's fair. I
So-
feel like it shows off the service.
And for
me,
that
like-
reason, I'm going to take Gears 5.
Okay, that's a good choice too.
Gears 5 is like their demo. It's what they demonstrate
agree.
everything with.
I kind of agree. So I took Ori and I took Forza Horizon 4. Sorry for clicking, chat. Let's see. I think I got to take Doom Eternal here.
Figured you
I think
might.
I got to take a game that hauls butt and like looks amazing and is my jam. I got to take Doom Eternal.
To round out my team, I'm going to take Hellblade.
All right, you're going there, huh? Now I actually have to start thinking about this. Tetris Effect still in Game Pass?
It is. It counts.
I need Tetris Effect. I know who I am. I know who I am.
My fourth pick is going to be a controversial one that most people, I think, would disagree with. I'm going to take the Medium.
It's an interesting choice.
I said it when I played it, and I still believe it. One of my favorite games I've played in Game Pass.
Ow. That's interesting. I'm like literally... Oh, you know what? My last one is going to be Hollow Knight.
I was worried. I was
last
wondering
one's gonna
about that one.
My last one's going to be Hollow Knight.
So what do I close it with, chat? There's a lot of great
right?
cases to be made. There's lots of popular games, like really popular games. But I'm trying to think of Donnie's games. Donnie's favorite
That's-
games.
yeah.
I'm surprised
That's
you
what
didn't
I
take
did.
Nier. I'm going
you
to
know-
close it with... Before I say it, I'm just giving one little scroll here.
You giving a scroll? I did that too.
A little
I
scroll.
did that too.
I'm going to close it with Control.
That's a good choice. I got a little bit of everything. I got some driving, I got some shooting, I got some platforming, I got some Metroidvaniaing, and I got some puzzling. I tried to
Control-
hit all my favorite things.
Control was my game of the year it released.
Control is a freaking amazing game.
So it felt disingenuous to take like Red Dead or,
Yeah.
one of the other games. I thought about
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. I don't necessarily know if it cuts the mustard for me, but Halo Master Chief is gigantic.
It's a
I
good
get
choice.
tons of
That's a good
games. I get
choice.
tons of all the shooter stuff. I get Gears 5, which is like the showcase. You got a new TV? Gears 5. You get a cloud? Gears 5. You got new stuff? Gears 5. You show people multiplayer? I get Hive Busters. Like, it's an add-on, little extra.
Do
That's like considerations to be traded later. Hellblade, you get single-player stuff, medium, horror space, and you end it with Control. I like it.
it's not bad. Not bad. I picked games I could probably play over and over again. That's what I went for. Like, and yes, Forza Horizon 4 is not my favorite of the Horizons, but like I still play that game for hours. I still play it for hours.
Well, sure.
I never leave.
Yeah.
Still play it forever.
It was
This is a
funny
good
because
question.
I specifically asked if we could take games that were announced.
I'm glad that we're not.
Because I would have
that's just
taken
too
Forza
much.
Horizon 5, like in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would. Well, I got first pick.
Is
so
the
I have
hype
to
too
fight
high
it.
for Forza Horizon 5?
I am so excited.
Right?
I'm
It's like
so excited.
most anticipated game of the year. Like I can't wait to
That's-
play it. It's the highest of expectations. It looked amazing. It showed amazing. I want all and more of that in my veins and in my pretty TV as fast as possible.
I literally cannot wait. Like I am vibrating with excitement for that one game.
A car
That
game.
game. It's not just a car game. It's
I
the
know,
car game.
but that's what people say
know?
about it, and I was one of those people for years, and I can't believe that I'm with other people here. I'm with
no, you are.
Horizon people.
I'm so pumped. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Ryan Turford says he agrees with me on the medium, which makes me think that we're both wrong.
Oh yeah, you guys are probably just both wrong.
The medium is one of my favorite Game Pass games. It is. I
think
really,
it's
really
legit
liked it. I hope
It's unique.
that its timed exclusivity doesn't like hold it back. I hope PlayStation fans play it and find it. And I
wanna
hope
see
they
more
love it
people
too.
play that.
I really hope they like it too because I really, really liked it. Old school horror game with a
that.
great story. Just an excellent story.
All right, I'm gonna grab a couple more. We got a little bit more time. We'll grab a couple more questions here.
Let's do it.
Kirby, do you think we'll see any new storage options for series consoles this year? 2 terabyte, maybe. I kind of am personally holding out. I want a 2 terabyte, and so I haven't bought an expansion yet. I think next year.
Who makes those? Is it Seagate?
Seagate makes the existing one.
They have a little conference planned next month.
Maybe.
So maybe
Ooh.
I'm going to say probably not, but who knows?
I would.
Companies announce crap all the time that like doesn't come out or anything. Like I wouldn't be. Would I be shocked? No, I wouldn't be shocked.
No. I would say I'm okay. So Deb says they had a show today and nothing on Xbox storage. I would say next year, maybe because of supply constraints and stuff going on. I'm on the border. I keep being on the border of buying the 1 terabyte. Like I'm right there.
You know what I would really like to see is another company make an option.
Agree.
I like to see that more.
Yeah, because then it gets cheaper. Then
Yeah.
we can have the game of like who's on sale now.
And
That's the
he
game
said
I
2
want.
terabyte. Like what about a 500? I think a lot of people would be a little more interested if it was cheaper.
Yeah, coming in at like $110 instead of this 200 plus price point. Yeah. I would go. I would love to see that drive the price of. I would like to see the price of the 1 terabyte come down
Sure.
instead of having.
We all would.
more.
I'd buy another one if
You know what I mean?
If they did.
I could just get that thing to like 150. I'd feel really good about it.
If we could get a 2
I might just-
or a 3 or like I don't care if we could just get more, I would sell mine and trade up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of like I haven't filled the console yet, so I'm like because I do the thing where I shuffle games off when I'm done
I'm
with
at, like,
them.
I'm like
Oh, of course you
70% full storage.
We've discussed. You're like a dragon sitting on video games.
But even
just, like,
I
watching
am
the console.
amazed that like I look at it and I'm like, I really got to delete some games. Like there's way like how
too much crap.
how are you at 70%
Wait,
in this year? Like we're so little that's come out. It's like how are we?
Just you wait.
There's too many. Yeah, it's too
These
many.
games are big now. That's the problem. I'm waiting to see if a 2 terabyte gets announced, so I don't. That's why I haven't jumped in yet. But I want not this year. I don't think this year. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Gonna grab one more question, my friend.
Sure.
Just one more.
Zero Skill says, so I know I'm an odd person. I have an unhealthy love for a game called Earthworm Jim. Do people they ride or die with Earthworm Jim?
I agree.
I've
they
met
roll
some
hard on
Earthworm Jim people, and they love that game. I played Earthworm Jim. Don't get it. Like I'm all for nostalgia, but
I'm never
anyway,
a Sega person.
what's a game from your past that you absolutely love and you would like to see it get more people to experience and appreciate?
Original Psychonauts. That one is very special to me, and it came out on it was original Xbox, I think, or was it 360? I really don't remember. I think it was original Xbox the first time it came out.
Yeah.
I don't think enough people played it then, and I think I'm glad 2 is coming out, but I think a lot of people are just going to skip it because they're like, I don't know what the hell this game is, you know? That's a very special game for me. I really loved that game a lot. Yeah.
This is a tough one for me. Like it's an easy conversation if I'm roping in like Nintendo stuff, but for the sake of the show, I won't do that. And then I feel a little like I'm regurgitating if I say, like Lollipop Chainsaw, which is what I want to say.
That's
for a lot of different
that's a
reasons.
fair game. Like A lot of people didn't play that game.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Damned is another one I don't think enough people played, and I really loved for a lot of the same reasons that I think Lollipop Chainsaw hits for some people. Like,
I would really,
weird.
yeah. The Suit of Love, I would like to see. You know, I really miss a character that I really miss, Beautiful Joe.
Oh, I'm wearing a Beautiful Joe shirt right now.
Oh, you are? Yeah.
I
didn't even
Beautiful
notice
Joe.
that. I honestly didn't even notice that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm so excited you said that because I wore the shirt. Nobody, like, these are the types of shirts that I wear that no one, because they're fan gamer shirts, no one knows what they are. They just think it's cool, you know? And I'm like, it's Beautiful Joe.
Yeah.
I love Beautiful Joe.
I miss Beautiful Joe. Wish she'd come back. For many years on PSVG Network, if you've been with us for a long time, you've definitely heard me say Clock Tower. So I will spare you the regurgitation of that. I'm excited that Fatal Frame, by the way. Did you see that?
I was just going to say Fatal Frame. I'm excited. I just bought sealed copies of 1, 2, and 3 on PS2. Like, I got
that's
really
right.
lucky.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Got so lucky, and now I'm so excited that this one's coming out because it's like, oh, it's the.
I'm going to get it on Xbox.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like, when it was announced, I was like, oh, I'm definitely getting it on Switch. And then after the direct, like, it's coming everywhere. And it puts me in a weird place with that because I value having it on cartridge for Switch. I think it'll be valuable.
Yeah.
But I believe in Xbox ability to carry my library with me.
It's fair.
So I feel like when I'm paying into the ecosystem, I feel like it has lasting power that I'm not, like, I'm personally not sold that in 7 years, all the stuff that I have on my Nintendo Switch will be playable on something else. I don't have that faith at all.
Are they selling them physical on everything?
Yeah.
I might pick it up on PlayStation just because that's like the association I have for that series. Like I might get and just keep a sealed copy and then buy a digital one somewhere. You know, I do stuff like that, but I'm back and forth about
physical copies should mean that the price comes down rather quickly. I think I don't.
Yes.
In my head, I'm expecting that it won't be a lackluster port. I'm not expecting it to like bend 4K and all that. Like I think it'll be. It may even be just a straight port. We'll see how much money they dump into it, but at best, probably a minor upscale. So I would imagine like Wonderful 101, like it gets a pop at release and then it drops fast. So I might get it on Xbox and play it there and then pick up a Switch cartridge later.
Yeah. I do that all the time. Like when stuff price drops,
That's what I just did with Streets of Rage.
I own the cartridge for Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage.
I liked it enough.
This is spoilers for Shack Tomorrow. Looks great on Switch. So much better on Switch than I expected it would.
Has any right to?
Like, it is a really. I was playing on the Switch and I was like, this is one of the most beautiful games I've seen on my Switch handheld.
They did a really good job.
As I remember playing it on my TV with Jack on Game Pass with my neon lights on and everything, and I was like, this is amazing. There's no way it's going to be like this on Switch. And then I played on Switch and I'm like, no, it is. It looks amazing.
They did a good job.
Reflections and lighting, it's all there. It's good. It's real good.
Good job on the Switch version. All right. I think that's it, man.
It's a good show.
Did we do it?
Yeah.
Did a show. Let me give a quick shout out to our Patreon on-air producers. Thank you guys for donating at this level. Thank you for everybody who likes and retweets and hangs out in the Discord. You make this show possible, man. And you make us feel the love. On-air producers, though, Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Rude Days 93, Ben Moxham, Rob Emanuel, Nick Fallhaber, Paul Calicote, Kyle Heyman, Grouchy Surge, Devin Tyus, Josh Bourbon, RJ Kern, HorseGirl69, Zach Adams, Joseph Wilson, and Drew Agnew. That list has gotten so delightfully long. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
I think
not
that's
going to
spoil
do it,
that,
right?
but I think that'll be pared down here in a couple weeks. I've gotten several emails of people bouncing back a bit, so
that's fair. It happens, and we appreciate the support whenever we can get it, and obviously we appreciate you guys just listening to the
100%.
And tweeting at me. That's one of my favorite things when episodes come out and people send tweets. I love that stuff. I'm ET Dragon on Twitter. Donnie is Eat the Hype. Find us on the internet machine. I will send you cat gifts. That's what I do. I think that's it, Donnie, right?
That's good. We're good.
All right. So until next week, y'all, some video games.
Peace, folks.
Later.